Hey guys, this is Aaron coming at you with a video about our board system and how this whole thing flows, how it works. Now we're going to have other videos that are going to show you how to build your own, but for us, this is what works. So this one, forgive us, it's all beat up. The names are tore off from all the past employees. It's a 9, almost 10-year-old board we've been running. This is just 4 magnetic boards from Target that I put up years ago, almost a decade ago. So this is all the real estate we had, you can see. We've got our bins down here, we've got our spare magnets, we've got all of our markers right here. We've tried doing the water-based dry erase. The problem we run into with those is we never have any water here, so it makes sense for moving magnets around and not erasing things, but it actually caused us to have a pain in the butt to get them erased. We just run a straight dry erase. Some of our stores run different color markers for different color writers. Everybody's different on that respect. It's just as long as they follow the basics. So here's how the basics work. The top is the most important, the bottom is the least important. When you get to waiting for parts, obviously the whole section is just what it is, it doesn't matter. But I'm going to walk you through how it works as far as a run through. Once a car comes in, like David right now, he has to inspect Hoffman and Freeman. And he's got the 2 cars, what's going on, it has the service writer here. So if you look down here, they have their paid diag section, so the ticket would get moved from here to here. And if you look, so Freeman got sold, and they said, hey, we looked at it, did a free 15-minute inspection, it looks like it needs some paid diag, as we teach in our original course, it would get moved here to paid diag. If he quoted some work and they knew what was going on, it would go straight to waiting on parts, then from there to repair. Let's put this back. You'll see here we have a total for waiting for parts. He has 15.8 hours right here, and a total of 23 hours sold here in the repair section. You'll also see over here, we've got all of our quoting and waiting for approval. Now, right now they don't have anything there, so all the work is on the technicians. Right now they're in the middle of diagnosing everything that's going on, and that work will then, as it gets diagnosed, go over here to client quote for Sam and Heather. As they quote things, if customers tell us, hey, we got to talk to our spouse, we got to check our finances, whatever, it goes over here to waiting for approval. Once we get a response after waiting for approval, it then goes from there, after they say yes or no. If it's yes, it goes to waiting on parts. If it's a no, it'll go to quality control and we'll QC it, and then it'll go out. If it's waiting for parts, it just follows like we talked about before. Then it gets dispatched through the parts dispatch system that we just walked you through in the other videos, and it goes in the repair section, top being the priority, bottom being the lowest priority. If there is a timer next to anything, these timers we buy off of Amazon for a couple bucks. These timers tell us how long a customer's been waiting in our shop. If you know, we don't want waiters doing show and sells being longer than 10 minutes, so normally this would be here. This is somebody waiting on a repair being done, but this normally would be right next to a ticket. It was a waiter. This is for a repair actually being done that a customer scheduled and came in and got done. Then over here, after it's done with that, it goes from here to quality control. Once they do the QC process, like we've taught you with the bins outside with the GS, then goes from there to call the client to tell them the car's done. It goes from there to completed. Right here, we sometimes will have a printout of our schedule for the day magnetized under a magnet there. Now, a couple little tricks that we use. We list what loaner car they're in. They're in 2-1 or 2-12 or whatever. That's the loaner car they happen to be in. We also list how many hours are on the tickets. We don't get into the dollars. Sometimes we do the dollars. It just depends on where the board's located at that particular store. Just depends. Our magnets are very basic. We will have a supply video that will show you how all this stuff's put together, what they look like. Again, these are 9-year-old magnets and 9-year-old board. It's just a simple piece of magnet tape on the back. And then as well, if you have a car that's not here, customer paid a deposit, they left, they're coming back to get parts. You have a car not here section, so you'd be waiting for parts. Once the parts arrive, you'd go to car not here until the customer arrives. Anybody that's waiting for approval, if it ends up being a long time, we let it pile up and it got crazy because the shop got busy. We then would have someone jump in here and start calling these customers, trying to wake these customers back up because maybe they're abandoning the car, or maybe they're just thinking about getting rid of it and they haven't told us that they're supposed to. This is somebody that's waiting on a loaner car. These are all the loaner cars in which customers are in them. Okay, so that's our basic system. That's how we follow our board. The tickets basically come through here, come over to here, make a quick pick stop, and they go back to the technician. If you're a technician, the reason you do this is if I'm David, I'm able to see that I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 cars that are my repairs. I'm able to block everybody else out and focus on just my stuff. From an advisor, I focus on just my stuff, and from the parts manager, I focus on just my parts manager section. I would encourage you never have your bottlenecks next to each other. You want to make sure that any of your bottlenecks, especially office versus technicians, are always separated. I'll see sometimes people rearrange it and put the waiting for approval right next to this. When I walk in, I can see I have a huge glob right here. I can tell you this is where the bottleneck is. Bottleneck's not over here. The advisors have nothing going on. You can tell in every single shop where the wave is at and where it's hitting and then when it's going to hit here. And it's very helpful to be able to run the shop. You do the board system so each employee can see just their responsibilities, and it also becomes the boss. A lot of you are running around with dad syndrome, and your employees are always going, what about this, what about this, and it's dad, dad, dad. You want to be able to just have something else that tells them what to do. This tells the technician what to do, it tells the advisor what to do, it tells the manager what to do. Now remember, here's another key piece of this. You want to always make sure that each employee, when they're done with the job, they move the magnet. So whenever Sarah, who's Swords, whenever she gets done with the job and she knocks out James, James will get moved to QC. And then the QC guy, the GS, Hunter or JR, they would then move it over here to call these clients. When the advisor gets a hold of somebody, it goes to completed. Once the car's been picked up, it then gets wiped off and it's gone. This also tells you how much cash you have waiting in your parking lot. Make sense? So if you think about this, this allows each position to have something telling them what to do without you having to do it. And we tie this in with our clipboard system. A lot of people think this is redundant, but once they've used it over and over, they find this is the absolute best way to do it. So I encourage you guys, try this. It's a huge game changer if you're not doing it. If you think your car count's too high to make it work, you're wrong. I'm telling you, this is a game changer. This will allow you to have organization at a level you've never had before. All right, guys, I will see you in the next video.